Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Classic Quest podcast, the show where we break down new classic hip-hop albums track by track, go through them, give you our thoughts and opinions on each song based on whatever struck out to us on each song. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
I will be your lady friend Bonnie for the evening.
And we will be going through the Missy Elliott's album Supa Dupa Fly. That's like the second week in a row I just fucked up the title. That's okay. We keep going. This is what this show's about. We are regular
What, making mistakes?
Yes.
Okay.
That's part of life, isn't it? We are just...
So is editing. Editing is a part of life.
Regular people who have jobs and don't want to spend all their time editing, who happen to have decided one day to start reviewing the albums and to going through them track by track. And you can skip the intro bit by checking the description of the video. But to go through them track by track, to look at the art of the album, which is something that might not be the most focused on thing in 2019 over here, regardless to when you're watching it. Maybe it's focused on by then. Maybe in like 2025, if you're watching some archival version of this, albums are dope again. But I think in general, the art of the album, people going out of their way to create albums, while it's coming back in fashion, from a fan perception, we don't appreciate them the way that we're supposed to. So I wanted to rectify that in myself, and I said, let's do it publicly. And this is where we are a couple of years later. On that note, we aren't professionals, as you may have surmised at this point. We come from Canada, so it's just even more complicated.
That doesn't just mean that we can't be professionals because we're Canadian.
No,
I would just like to clear that up.
It just means that
one does not equate the other.
We did not grow up in New York City back in the day, or any of the cities where stuff was happening. We grew up here in Montreal. On avait les problèmes du langue and all that good stuff. We have our own versions of life, but yeah, it's a different world up here. There's no igloos, but it's very different.
There's some igloos.
Not in Quebec? Yeah, I guess, eh?
Northern Quebec, yeah, for sure.
Northern Quebec's pretty cold. But yeah, I digress. We do care a lot about your feedback and your comments and your ideas and your thoughts, because the truth is Google sucks at helping you find interesting shit about these albums. You can get tabloidy stuff and you can get what's on a Wikipedia page, but another great source of information for the next time we talk about Missy is the comment section. Because y'all just bring up stuff that you cared about or was significant to you, that then or you correct us because sometimes we get shit wrong, and then y'all let us tell us what to Google or what interviews to look for, and it just gets more fun and more interesting from that point on. So through the comment section, we have gone from not knowing a damn thing to sort of not knowing a damn thing, but on the way to knowing things. On that note, what album did we talk about last week so we can go through the favorite comment of last week's video?
Well, I do believe we did Runaway Slave last week.
By Showbiz and AG.
Mm-hmm.
And on that, we had a comment from DJ Black Hurricane, and it's a doozy.
It's a biggin'.
I appreciate the doozies. Keep them coming. But I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing just for time's sake, but right off the jump, dope review, guys. Thanks, my man. Okay, this is one of my favorite albums of all time. See, it's that type of shit, right? I didn't even know people knew who a Showbiz and AG was 4 weeks ago. Didn't. And now I'm finding out it's DJ Black Hurricane's one of his favorite albums of all time. And 1992 is his favorite year in hip-hop because it was such a pivotal year between hardcore and fun rhymes, as he likes to call it. Now, when I think about that, I'm like, okay, that's an interesting thing. That's not the type of shit you can find on Google. I mean, you can, but not easily. I had the vinyl version of this album, and the track listing is way different, and there are two album covers for this album, and the one you're using in the top left corner is the vinyl album cover, while the CD one is much different. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I don't know if I've seen it, but the vinyl version doesn't have the Silence of the Lambs remix, which he feels is inferior, and that makes sense if the original, because on that, the version we did was always on Spotify, which is probably the CD version or whatever, and the remix came first, and that was just so bamboozling. But now to find out that there was no remix on the original album, it kind of makes sense. Anyway.
But then why was it created? like the way that it was then.
Or maybe
Like, it just seems like so
a
bizarre.
couple years later, they put it out on a disc or a CD, and then to help you buy it a second time, because you already had the record version, so now to get the CD version,
but it still seems like a weird...
I mean, you know what? That might be like, and I don't know this, I just had this idea, that might be like a big reason of why bonus editions started in the first place.
I get it, for like a bonus edition, or like, extra
but,
tracks, or
look at the world
whatever.
as
but,
CDs
to have like a
were
remix in the middle of the album before the actual song.
So look at it from a different perspective. It came out on vinyl and tape, and then all of a sudden CDs is this new medium that people are really jumping on, so you got to re-release your shit on CD. But the dude's already got it on vinyl or tape, and now you want him to buy it on CD, so you make the remix, the bonus edition of the album or some shit. And so if you think about it, a lot of people probably added a song or two just to like compel you to purchase it a second time. I don't know if I'm right there. I just had that thought in my mind, but yeah, to me that makes sense from how the record industry does shit, where they like squeeze cash out of you.
It makes sense to me. I agree with you on that, but just like the way that it was like curated and created and like put in order of like song choices, it still just seems weird to me. That's it.
I agree, except if everyone else had already heard it, and so this was just like fresh, and they weren't just a couple people on YouTube 25 years later or whatever.
Right, yes.
Anyway, the comment's dope. It keeps going on from that point on and just discusses more great shit. And that's what I like about this comment section, is ultimately that I thought it's gotten cool. The amount of comments, maybe not as long as that, but like that come in, it almost makes it exciting when you wake up in the morning and, you get these shits to go read. And it's like, damn, this YouTube stuff is not as ignored as it might look, it's really invigorating. So thank y'all who do comment. It really means a lot. And special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black, Hurricane, the same guy, and Linda Williams. They're dope. They support what we do. Talk a bit about that at the end. Plug them at the beginning while you're still watching, because we think they're cool. Plug them at the end so we can plug ourselves. And then why don't we introduce the album we will be talking about today as we start this. Bonnie, one more time for the peeps.
Well, since I think it's actually a little bit past ladies' night. So this is like ladies' weekend now. It's, we've made it through the week. But here we are. We're doing Supa Dupa Fly by Missy Elliott, which came out July 15th, 1997. And just wanted to say...
I believe she was still Missy Misdemeanor Elliott at that point.
Yeah.
And yeah, just to touch on that, we were supposed to do a lady album every 10 episodes because otherwise it might be like forgotten to do some ladies. And then due to logistical errors, episode 100 came and went, and here we are, episode 102, catching up. This is the part of the show where we like to contextualize basically how familiar we are with the artist, because it makes a huge difference in terms of your understanding. And I actually think on this particular episode, my familiarity with this artist completely subverted my expectations for the reality that was this album. I don't know about you, but why don't you tell us what you know about Missy Elliott coming into this review?
Well, I feel like ever since I was in like high school or whatever, like I feel like everybody just knows who like Missy Elliott is, just because at that time in like the early 2000s or whatever, that's, everybody was watching like MTV, and everybody was like, listening to the radio and stuff like that, and you're teenagers, and everybody, so everybody knew Missy Elliott because she played on the radio, she played on MTV, her music videos were always on, and they were fun to watch, because this was like still like the early years of the internet. I mean, like, it wasn't great. There was no YouTube or anything, I don't think.
There was Yahoo Launch. I don't know if you know what that is, but that existed, and I watched my music videos on that in high school.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched them online. Maybe I did. I don't know how.
Much Loud and Much Vibe. So if your parents paid for Much Vibe, I know you Americans have no idea what the fuck that is. That's fine, you can Google it. Much Vibe, then you got the luck of watching those videos, and for like a year or two we got those channels, and it was dope because Much Music had stopped showing the music and had migrated, except for that like 1 hour between 5 and 6 p.m. where, back when George Stroumboulopoulos was still, now he's super fucking famous and rich and powerful.
Well, he has like a show on like CBC, I think,
Yeah.
and like on like this like on the
I
radio
digress.
and on TV, I think.
So yeah, Missy Elliott dominated that shit at that time.
Yeah, so she was definitely around. She was kicking. She like I can tell you, I have heard some of the songs so many times over and over and over again because I would be staying like after school or whatever when it was like our talent fest, and there were always girls, like a group of girls doing like a dance to like Missy Elliott or whatever, trying to be cool, trying to be like Ciara or whatever. But they were all white as hell, so that just didn't work. But I still can like remember like the songs like playing over and over and over again, seeing the same dance moves over and over and over again as they practiced. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely known her the majority of my life, I guess.
So this is another moment for me where I know I like to give a speech about singles versus albums, but like this is why, in my opinion, it's kind of important. So let's say I discover what a hip hop culture and a music is and all that. Well, not the culture, but the music at least in about 2000 with this white boy named Eminem and all of the MTV shit that's going on. And I'm like 12 in 2000. That shit fucks me up. I'm like, white people can rap? So I start devouring hip hop like crazy because I thought it was so cool. It became my like favorite genre of music. It probably still is. I think it's my favorite. It's the one I listen the most to. But at that time, you just couldn't avoid Missy because like there were just so many classic moments like do 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 Missy go blah 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 in your face, open your mouth, give you a taste. And it was just like, fuck, I don't care if I sounded good. It was just so good. Iconic. Like, everybody knew it. Everybody tried to dance to it. Or, there were just quite a few hits from that. Like, I learned what a...
Well, I mean, hello. Missy even had a feature in Moulin Rouge, which every girl loved.
That song was trash.
Yeah, but every girl loved it and danced to it.
It was just a... Anyway, I'm not saying this song is trash because it's trash. I just don't
Moulin
like it
Rouge
very much.
is also an amazing...
But no, it's not that good. But then there was Missy Elliott taught me what a 1 minute man was. Like, I didn't know what that shit was, but then she just explained how she wants a guy that will last more than 1 minute. And then as I got older, that clicked what that was all about. And I was like, oh, thanks for teaching me, Missy, that like endurance in sex is a very important thing. Like, maybe I didn't learn that lesson, but Missy made sure that people got that shit. I remember her being like powerful. I remember the music videos being dope, but mostly I remember Timbaland, because let's be real, from like 2000 to 2003, 4, Timbaland shit was pretty fucking tight.
Like, you could not turn on the radio without
I forgot to
hearing
Google
songs
this.
about Timbaland. Nelly Furtado, Justin Timberlake, wasn't it Madonna?
Timberland. Who the fuck is Justin Timberlake?
What?
Didn't you say Timberlake? I heard Timberlake. Maybe.
Yeah, because he was working with him.
Oh, fuck. I got fucked up there. That's okay. Let's keep moving.
No editing.
You're right. You know why? Because I'm too fucking lazy. I'm not going to remember to go look for this little chunk and take it out. This is the organic experience.
Enjoy.
This is what it would be like. Because let's say we were doing this live, which is probably going to come in the next couple of months. That's a little spoiler if you're watching. But, like, this is how it would work. This is what the live show would be like.
Yeah.
It would be no different than the recorded version. And I think that unlike a lot of people in this sphere who have this polished, edited thing but can't do shit live, I'd rather be able to go on tour and do this shit live one day. Which is a possibility if we practice like rolling with that shit.
I'm pretty good at that.
Anyway, so I heard all of her singles back then, like one after another that came out. Because for a few years she was just dropping shit like Missy Susa, you know, like that whole fucking gossip.
I have no idea what that
Going
is.
Ludacris. When I pull up in the hills.
Oh.
You know, see, you did. Anyway, the fact that you could just do that, I didn't even really say words, and you knew exactly what, like, that style. And she had style, and it was incredible.
She still has style.
I'm not saying she doesn't have style now. I'm just saying, like, from my memories. And then, like, so the videos is fly. Her dancing and shit is really fly. And her overall swag is fly. And Timbaland's next level. And anyway, so, but I never listened to an album. I just heard the singles. And she's always rapping. Like, name a single from that era where she's not just rapping. Like, she doesn't really sing much on any of the singles that came out during that era, except maybe the chorus of 1 Minute Man, which is fine. But like, so my understanding is that Missy Elliott just spits rhymes.
And she's like good with like ad libs and like making noises and stuff like that. It works.
Absolutely. And then I put on Miss E, whatever that album is, So Addictive, earlier this week because somebody had suggested we do that one or the newer one. And then Bonnie's like, let's do the first one. And I'm like, I kind of wish we did the newer one at this point.
Well, we will.
But like, I didn't realize she sang so much. So then we put this one on and oh boy. Like, let's just say that my expectations of Missy Elliott based on like the hits that came out in that period when I was in high school did not prepare me for this project. Like, it just did not. And I thought that was fascinating how maybe if I had listened to her albums back then, I would have been like a little more understanding of who she was. But the way the singles came out, in my opinion, at least the ones at that time, skewed her in like this certain light that almost ignored her like previous sounds. Maybe I'm just fucking crazy, but I just didn't know she sang. I had no idea that she was a singer, really, type person. So, I digress. Moving into this album, though. So, I came into this with this expectation that Missy was going to bust some rhymes over some fucking sweet-ass beats. And then, anyway, we can move into the album and you'll get my, like, feelings, but just understanding my expectations. Because I think, again, that's such an important part of this musical journey. That's the part where people are like, everybody's opinion is valid and you can't tell people what to think. But people never consider the understanding of like your relative experience with the artist versus the history behind it, and that the history kind of counts more than your relative experience, and that the second you learn some history, your experience with the album shifts. It's impossible to not.
I suppose, yeah.
I mean, we've seen it time and time again where you'll just hear, oh, that song makes part of you just wants to give it a better grade almost because now you realize what you were missing previously. So understanding changes everything.
Yeah.
I didn't understand at the start of this. I did something I've never done before on this reviews. I didn't watch anybody, but I read like 4 reviews and asked people about this album because I wasn't ready. I needed an explanation of what the fuck I was getting into here. The album's called Supa Dupa Fly, and Missy's just laid out on this thing with her shoe in your face, and she looks Supa Dupa Fly. Got like this purple pimpy shit in the background. Ella Supa Dupa Fly says Missy like that, and some gangsta ass looking baseball jersey type shit. Like,
and the Supa kind of looks a little bit like Superman or whatever, like a little bit more like superhero-y.
Reminds me of the letter styling of blaxploitation movies of the 70s and shit. That's what it reminds me of from the letter styling. There's a fucking fly in there too, next to Fly. I don't know what to say about the cover. Like, this is one that I never would have noticed. Like, if I didn't know who she was, this cover would have blended into like, oh, that's a cover. Like when you're flicking through records at the record store and like 80% of them just you don't process them. That's my feelings on that cover. When I think about the title, it's actually really dope. It's Supa Dupa Fly, but it's stylized in this retro-fitting way where like instantly you get the sense that she's coming in with style and with some soul and funk and shit, and that's what you should be kind of expecting. So while I don't like the cover, I really like the title of the album.
Yep.
I don't know if you have more to say there.
Not really. I mean, it's pretty much what it is.
Aight, so to start us off, Mr. Busta Boss comes in with Busta's intro.
Y'all's opinion, blast your whole ass into oblivion.
So, this is Busta Rhymes for about 2 minutes on top of, I'll give it to Timbaland. It's a very smooth, niced out beat.
It's a nice beat, yeah.
You can ride it, it's got a little bounce to it. It's not my cup of tea beat-wise. That's cool. But then Busta Rhymes comes in like he just snorted a big old line of fucking cocaine. And I was like, yo, which is fun. That's the part of Busta I think most people liked.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Missy, fuck that. I just came out here an hour and 25 minutes on one of them Gilligan Island shits of New York, Virginia. And I'm like, what? So let me just explain what happened. Missy Elliott and Timbaland ran away to Virginia and recorded this album in a week. That's something I learned since listening to this album. It makes a lot of sense. Busta Rhymes and all other contributing artists flew out to Virginia to do their parts. So Busta Rhymes, you can just picture him now if you listen to what he says in this little intro bit. I'll just summarize. Flew out from New York to Virginia, came in there, heard the album, and said, "Fuck it, I'm on your album." To visit your ass, and you playing shit like this up in my ears. What the fuck you think you doing? Thinking I ain't gonna get on this motherfucker before I bounce. Now, I don't believe that that's the organic conversation, like they just had the mic rolling.
I mean, he was obviously there for something.
I think that that's what he said off camera, and they said, "Fuck it, Busta, just get in the booth and say it again." So we said it again, very similar.
And maybe all of the songs were already recorded. And,
well, that's it. Like he heard the album.
And so he was just like, "I'll just do like a beginning, like an intro."
Yeah, he said, "I'm doing it. I'm on your album, whether you like it or not. I'm Busta Rhymes. You gonna say no to me?" And then they were like, "Of course we're gonna say yes to you, Busta Rhymes." And then he's like, "Ah ha ha ha! I continue to disregard all of y'all's opinion." Well, I guess there's no point reviewing Busta then. He don't give a shit what we think. Blast your whole ass into oblivion. Make your new. I don't really think he said anything really interesting.
It just sounds cool.
He does. He sounds cool while saying like literally fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Like, don't act like a fucking sissy. No chicken heads allowed in here. No time for the kissy. Like, it's some weird flow like that where it's like fast and slow at the same time. And asking, who is he? I be Busta Rhymes, the phenomenon. It's like, what are you saying? But it sounds cool.
Yep.
Then a little outro co-signing her. So allow me to explain this. Apparently, if you're a lady rapper in the 90s, the only way you can have a career is if a dude says you're cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
she had lots of dudes telling her she was cool.
So Timbaland is like a dude that said she was so cool, he made the whole album.
Yep.
And then Busta Rhymes is here to tell, and maybe it was necessary. It sounds really like a weird thing to like bring up in 2019 or however, I don't care. But like the point is, it must have been like such a frustrating experience to be a lady rapper and to realize that the male audience won't take you seriously unless a guy like Busta Rhymes actually comes in and goes, "She's dope" first. Now, I don't know if that's how it happened, but I know enough guys in my life to believe that that's a plausible reason how this came to be. Looking at it all this time later, it's just, okay, that happened. And that's my feelings hearing this intro. Like, okay, that happened. The beat is really nice. It serves its role as an introduction to the project, and it does its logistical job. It's just a weird cosign. I give it a 4. Like, it does its job, but I don't know if I like it so much as I think it's just well made.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it very much sounds like Busta. And like, you know, like we were talking about, like, I really like the way he sounds and like the different kind of noises and like ad libs that he makes. Like, it seems very fitting for what Missy Elliott does, because he does that and she does that as well. So it's kind of nice to have like those two sounds come together, which I really don't think I've ever really heard two kind of weird or like alternate kind of like rappers come together like that. And anyways, I don't know, maybe I have, I don't know, but I like the way he sounds is what I'm saying. And I agree with you. He's basically giving Missy cred, and because this is her first like her debut solo album, and so he's letting everybody know, and more importantly, he's letting the men, audience know that they should listen to this album, and that it's not something that should be like, left like to like the side or think, oh, it's only for girls. Like, he's letting you know, no, like, especially like when you first like pick up the album, maybe you're browsing and you look at it and you look at the back cover or whatever, and you see, okay, who's on this song? And like the very first one, Busta Rhymes, it is just like his intro. Like, if you're a Busta fan, you're going to be like, wow, that's cool, and you're probably going to pick it up. And I think that's pretty much, like, the reason why.
I mean, I get that. I just think it's kind of, it's really lame,
like, I get
all
that
things considered, when you think about it today and now with everything we know.
But I don't think it was necessary. I think that, like, she would have done it anyways. Obviously, her album was pretty much complete when he kind of busted in. And, so, like, she didn't need to have him on there. She was fine without it, probably. But it just sounds nice. And I guess, maybe maybe he's her friend, and they get along, and maybe he was just doing this like to kind of like help her out, and kind of, maybe he was like, I don't know at what point.
This is 100% not the only album we've talked about that had a Busta Rhymes intro.
I think that there has been, yeah.
There's at least one more. Maybe Busta just did that. He would like go to sessions and be like, "I'm doing your intro." I don't know.
And then that would happen. So anyways,
he's a very large guy.
Yeah. Anyways, I liked it. I thought it was fine. He's validating her, and that's pretty much it. I gave it a 4.25.
All right. Well, hit him with the he.
Let's.
There's a lot to unpackage here. So there's two versions of this song. There's this album version, and then there's this music video version. So let's start with the album version. Before we get to hear any Missy, what happens? Cosign number 2, Lil Kim, more proficient female rapper with bigger fan base. So not only does Busta say she's dope, Lil Kim says she's dope. And I'm like, so I started wondering, is this a good thing or a bad thing? That like two people have to come on and say you're dope before your project starts.
Like there's still albums like, when people put them out now, and like well-known artists probably that still have like things like this, that still have like features and whatever else. But so why can't it just be the same like that?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, as a person, I don't know that, like, I've never understood it, like, when, like, the whole first song, like, it was also, like, Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style was like that, where, like, Lady of Rage does the first track, and Snoop's not, like, I just think it's weird, where, like, the first people you hear aren't even really affiliated. So you get Busta Rhymes fine for the intro, but then it's another Lil Kim verse where she's like, it's cute to the B and the double E spitting lovely. It is pretty rap. So I was expecting rap for the rest of the album now. This is my current expectations listening to it. And, this is fine. Like, this is not, excuse me, but I like to flow because destroying rocks harder than indica. And I be off the wall like the Locks night box filled with Benjamins. Me and my girl Missy getting pissy up in Bennigan's, making y'all rappers. It's pretty standard. You know what it sounds like? That verse you write for somebody else's album when you're just trying to floss them up a little bit. Some standard shit.
Yeah.
Couple quick references. Shout out to the Locks. Oh, Missy. Yeah, I'm with Missy. Well, misdemeanor hits notes like Safarina. I subpoena you to my funk groove. See, I hit you with the huh. She hit you with the hey. And I'm like, oh. So wait, Missy's hitting with the hey. That's not like the huh, and the huh is like that Lil Kim gangsta ass shit. And then Missy's like, it wasn't in your car, and she's just like singing and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, and you had me all in love with you because I've got my own ride and had a trunk full of tunes. I drive through your hood and I hit him with the. And I'm like, wait, what? What just happened here? Lyrically, I have no idea what's going on. I mean, so we're hyping up Missy. That's cool. And now Missy's singing. It's not my favorite. R&B is not my favorite genre of music. So that like soulful, it's not my favorite.
Well, she's not really being soulful.
But it's more like R&B.
Okay.
Right? Like, it sounds like.
Well, she's not rapping. She's singing.
Yeah. And then she hits him with the he, and I hit him with the ha, and I stop him with the let's drink to you and let's drink to me. Meet me at the bar. He, ha, he, ha. And I said, oh shit, I don't know how to review this anymore. The lines are fine. It wasn't your money that had me all sprung out because I got my own account and my bills in large amounts. I drive through your hood. And then she does a little rappy thing, which is just fine. And that part's actually really sick. That little rappy thing might be my favorite part of this track because when Missy Elliott raps, the swag in every line is something every rapper out there could learn a little bit from in terms of swag. But like the singing is, I don't mean to be sounding disrespectful, but she's not the greatest at it.
Well, no, but I don't think it's necessarily like her like usual go-to.
Her flow is pretty powerful. Now, I would like to just cut myself off and let y'all know that I am aware that Missy Elliott at this time did not want to be a rapper. She was very comfortable writing songs behind the scenes, and this may have been kind of like thrust upon her, and maybe she is a singer, and maybe she's more of a producer type person behind the scenes. And
I think that's always what she's wanted to do. I mean, as much as people and like the fans want to see her and enjoy most of her music, I think that she really does kind of like life a little bit more like secluded.
So all of that to say, I didn't know any of that coming into it, and I was left with this. I mean, like, the beat's well made and the lyrics and everything are fine, and what I can say is if I don't listen to her in terms of what she's saying, I mean, there's a couple of lines that are very powerful women shit.
Yeah.
And I want to give credit to that too, because I feel like I'm being a little dismissive to it. I'm not saying it's vapid. I'm saying these are just kind of boss ladies, you know, like, I'm so fly, you're gonna care about me, and it's cool all in that regard. But I mean, it's all right. I gave it a 4.25. I was like, this is a well-made song again, but I don't know that I like it. But at least this one, I feel like just like if this came on at a party, I'd be like totally cool with it being on. Like, it just seems like it would fit in that kind of vibe.
Okay, maybe if it was a 90s party.
Which is the best kind.
I guess. I mean, I pretty much agree with you on most of this. I did find like the words, there wasn't really much to the words. The beat and like the music were like seemed to be more the focus. Like at least that's where my ears were drawn to. You know, basically saying, you know, they're independent women, they don't need your money, and like, you know, or anything else or whatever. It just sounds very like 1997. It sounds like they're kind of like experimenting with like digital sounds and just kind of playing with it. Like, it definitely sounds like of the times, which is fine. I mean, it is. So that's what it is. Do I think it's great? No, not really, but it's good. So I gave it a 4 on 5.
So as I understand it, Missy Elliott felt that like the industry was in a bit of a funk and everything was kind of sounding the same. So a lot of this project, and especially with the music videos, is an effort to make things be fresh and new again. And if we look where it took things, I'd say this is very seminal towards moving shit towards the pop music that was popping back when I was young. So like I can see how this became the shit that I was listening to in high school. That music video, it's now a different version of the song. Now may I quote to you a little something, and you gotta understand, Timbaland doesn't do like a whole lot in the video, but he has a whole part where he's like rapping and shit, and it like closes up in his face closer to the end of the song. And this is what Timbaland had to tell us. Sometimes I feel like making a beat. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes we make you move your feet. Sometimes we don't. Then I thought of Aubrey Graham.
Yeah,
and
I knew
his
that.
Sound God's Plan, where he says riveting lines like, sometimes I feel bad, sometimes I don't, or whatever. And I'm like, it was lame when Drake did it, but way hyper. But this is fucking lame, Timbaland. Like, Timbaland's part on this, like, fucking whatever remix video, it is just the awfulest shit I've ever seen a producer try to do to, like, look a little bit cool. Like, sometimes I make a beat, but sometimes I don't. And I'm like,
we get it. Sometimes you sleep,
sometimes you even have to take a poop.
And sometimes you don't.
Like, I mean, like, you could literally say that about anything. It's
Yep.
not, and the way he is like, he says it so sincerely, and like, so like he's trying to, like, in his mind, this was the hypest shit. And this is one of those really stoned ideas you have that you're supposed to record on your phone and watch after when you sober up and make sure it's actually a good idea before doing. But still, it went through everybody because that shit had the music video. Everybody thought that sounded good. That's fucked up to me. Either way, I love the video's aesthetic and the style. I believe Hype Williams is involved with all of the music videos that she did on this album. And like, if we want to talk about the song and shit, whatever. Throw that video on and I'm in it, man. She's got the suit on. She's got the weird other outfit she wears. You've got like the cool dragon like monster shit flying around. It's this gritty dark aesthetic, swagged out boss moves and shit, and I'm like, yo, with the video on, I'm just like sitting there like I could listen to this all day. This is so fucking cool, and everything's so synchronized to the music, and everything's just fucking hyped to me, and it all flows out well. And I mean, I'm not gonna say the dancing was next level or anything, but everything was swagged out. And when I thought about this particular part, which I think is super important from a dancing perspective, from a style perspective, these are other core elements of hip-hop culture that aren't necessarily spitting rhymes. And so when I thought about Missy Elliott, maybe the music wasn't on this album isn't my favorite per se, but her adherence to hip-hop is next level, and I have to give her all credit to that before we go through the rest of the review, so that people know that I care about Missy Elliott's significance on hip-hop culture from a visual aesthetic standpoint. Because that music video, I know you don't like it, was really fucking cool to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite of the ones on this album, but of all the videos I've ever reviewed on this channel, all 3 of these videos are in my like top 20. That's how good they are to me from a style. Like, you look at this and you feel the shit. Like, that's who Missy Elliott is. Like, it's different. You don't forget the video. I can't remember 80% of the 90% of the videos I saw. They're just guys standing on corners. I remember Lord Jamar's face in that cameo from the Showbiz and AG review, but that was because it was 2 weeks ago. Frankly, I just don't remember them. This shit stood out to me. This is like Bjork level awesome in terms of creativity and shit.
Okay.
Anyway, super cool. I have a lot more to comment on the video. What about you?
Like he said, I didn't really enjoy the video. There are some of hers that I do think are really, really, really cool, and we can talk about those later. But I didn't really like this one so much. I got like the Michael Jackson kind of tribute vibe a little bit to it. So I got that, and like they kind of do like the leaning thing like they do in And Are You Okay? That's not the song title, but that's what I'm thinking of right now.
Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, Smooth Criminal. And so like they do kind of that. It's just like that kind of like feeling. I did appreciate the tap dancing in the rain that was happening. For somebody that doesn't like the rain, she sure showed off some good dance moves in the rain. So I thought that was cool. Besides that, not my favorite video. I will just leave it at that. And let's go check out Suck It To Me.
On a late night creep, I'ma show you things.
So this one absolutely has another great music video. And when I say great, I mean Hype Williams was inspired by fucking Mega Man. The video game. Mega Man. I played Mega Man growing up, and I certainly hope you had the opportunity to play Mega Man too. So the fact that this music video is inspired by that shit is next level. And it makes sense when you look at the costumes they wear as they deal with spaceships and they run around and there's all this combat and these sound effects and shit going on. And it really like fits the song. And then the Brat shows up and looks like she's not sure exactly how to go sci-fi with her rapping style here, and she just kind of spits at the camera like every other rap video, but like, and then she like rides on the motorcycle but can't do that while rapping. Even though Missy, she can sing while she's on her motorcycle shit. And Missy gets a sidekick, but the Brat gets no sidekick. I digress. That video, that may be in my top 5 favorite music videos of the stuff we've reviewed on this channel. It is so fucking incredible. I was like, the geek in me was going fucking nuts.
No.
On top of that, I mean, Missy Elliott singing and the beat's all right. I don't think it's that great. I think with later versions of Pro Tools, Timbaland got a lot more impressive. Because what he was using here worked and shit, but like once we move into the past samples and pure synthetic shit, that's when I think Timbaland really shines. Unless he sampled the whole way through. But it doesn't sound like half the shit with Justin Timberlake was that sampled, in my opinion. Then we have like Missy just being like, I was looking for affection, so I decided to go swing that dick in my direction. I'll be out of control. I'm like, okay, it's a sex song, which is cool. So let's see if you can bring the nasty out of me. Okay. Missy says you can sock it to her like you want to. She can take it like a pro. You know, do it long with... Oh my god, I don't really care about the lyrics of this shit. Her hormones are jumping like a disco. I did care about that line. That is a hilarious fucking lyric, all things considered. But like, this song doesn't do a lot for me. It's kind of just like Missy flowing on and singing, and it's got like a flow to it, and it's all fine, and I'm like a little bit sleeping through it because I'm realizing, holy shit, this is just adequate. I know that it's not poorly made music. It's just shit that I don't find the lyrics great. I think her singing on this is okay. Timbaland's beat's okay. And then the Brat shut me the fuck up. He just wasn't expecting it. The Brat's busting speeds like fucking Tech 9, flows that are ridiculously complex at that speed while being fucking crazy clear and shit. I mean, her rapping is on fucking point. Like, me and Missy Elliott with a head rush, bring a ruckish, plus I'm telling them, pushing, picking up profits. What for what? I'm selling, never gonna stop it, socking it to, and rocking it, dropping them on the spot, heat up any block or record shop, knocking you off your sock. And I'm just like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? That is, allow me to be clear, my favorite part of this album that doesn't have beeps involved is this verse. This verse is pretty fucking great. Like, it is, we did the Brat's Funkdified. I wasn't expecting something like that. Were you expecting something like that from the Brat? At the speeds?
I mean, I liked the Brat. I thought she was alright.
I mean, like, that level, because, like, let's be real, on the Funkdified, it was kind of like young the Brat, and now she's like adult the Brat. And
she's like the feature, so she's like obviously like kind of a little bit mated, I guess, at this point, you know.
But she kills it.
Yeah.
She hits hard like penitentiary dick, if I may quote the Brat here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fair. That's a weird line too. Like, is dick from jail like particularly more erect and full of blood than dick that's not in jail? Or is it implying that the guy who goes to jail is packing a dick and he's hard?
Is she just referring to a guy named Richard as penitentiary dick?
That's a very good point too. And then all of a sudden she goes like, I be the B-R-A-T, her be Missy, we be. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened again? The whole song.
B-R-A-T,
and it's just awful. That part is not that good.
Well, because she's a brat, right? So that's kind of why she does that.
Yeah, but it like took this like A-level verse and it went in a weird direction with it, in my opinion.
Well, it's already in space. It's already a weird direction.
And then there's a little outro, and then the song ends, and I'm like, with the music video and the Brat, it's a 4.35, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a fair grade. It's well made. I'm totally not interested in what Missy Elliott or Timbaland are doing here, but I'm very interested in Hype Williams' video. I guess Missy's involved in the video too. I'm interested in the video and the Brat.
All right. So I thought the beginning was nice because like the intro, there's like some nice like horn feature. I like that, and like the beat, I enjoyed that. It was good. And I agree with you. This is basically a sex song. Like, that's pretty much what it is. And like basically like the Brat says that they're kind of saying like people are starting to realize that we're killing it at the rap game, and that they should be, people should be paying attention to like her and Missy and like, maybe some of these other features. So I think it just sort of like being like, hey, like pay attention to us, like we're doing great things, and like don't just shut us down. So I mean, I liked it. I thought it sounded cool. I mean, the music video is okay. I don't know. I don't really care for
Mega
robots.
Man.
I don't know what that is. But I feel like the sound of this song kind of like dates it again, so it maybe doesn't necessarily like hold as like a classic, because like you hear it and you're like 90s. But anyways, I still liked it. I gave it a 4.3.
All right, well, beep beep. Who got the keys to my rain? Supa Dupa Fly.
I can't stand her.
This is another song that has two versions. There is the video version, and then there is the beep 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 beep. And it's just like the first 30 seconds of this song. First of all, this is the first beat where I'm like, oh, like it's got this sound to it that is in fact fucking enthralling. Mm-hmm. I have to give this all sorts of fucking credit.
Yep.
But then it starts off with beep beep, and like it's really weird, right? It's not bad. I don't know if it's good yet. I don't know how to process it. She just beeps at you for about 30 seconds over this rhythm. She's like beep 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 beep, and then she just,
yeah, I get it.
She just does that.
I get it, Missy.
And then I'm like, this is cool. And as it was said to me, Missy was really into some weird shit like the ad libs and to really play with it, like going sticky, icky, 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 icky. Sticky, or whatever she's fucking saying, and she just says it like for like again 20 seconds is just her making that like fucking sound.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it when she goes freaky, freaky, freaky.
That's what I mean.
Freaky,
Freaky.
She's saying freaky.
Oh,
Freaky, 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 freaky.
whatever. That thing, and she does it
liked
like a
it.
whole bunch. And again, it's not bad. It's just like, it's like people diss mumble rap today, and I understand why.
I don't, but she's just.
But
playing
then I
the
also
sounds.
don't understand why, because that's fucking dope, and she's not saying anything. Beep, beep. Like, you don't have to say things for it to sound dope.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we judging the kids the way we judging the kids then? That's all I'm trying to say. If you
Okay.
can just make noises and that counts, then Designer in his scat's a real fucking genre, go look it up.
Yeah.
But scat-driven flows, Designer counts. If this counts, Designer counts. That's what I'm trying to say. If you don't know who Designer is, he's the rapper who did the I got Brat and Havana. But he has a whole song that's just like him making fucking ad-lib noises.
Okay.
And it basically is scat. And then, anyway, and most people don't like that shit. I digress. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's like a whole fucking connection point that I'm missing where Missy's dope and they're not. But like, I listen to this shit and I'm like, you know what? Like, it's just kind of like Migos. Like, it just flows so well. But like, let's listen to the actual lyrics. Beep, beep. Who got the keys to the Jeep? Vroom. I'm driving to the beach. Top down, loud sound, see my peeps. Get in pounds, now look who it be. It be me, and Timothy. She doesn't say anything really here. This isn't like the most flyesty, lyrically driven shit. But like the way she goes, beep, beep, who got the keys to the Jeep? Vroom, that shit doesn't leave your head. You can't. I'm never going to forget her doing that forever. Yeah. I'm never going to forget Missy Misdemeanor Elliott going beep, beep. It's a weird thing to say, but it's true. On the other hand, I mean, bad and bougie. Cooking a dough with a Uzi. I mean, it's not good lyrics, but it's hella tight flow. And so I'm trying to like make the case in my brain. I'm like, the same shit I'm liking in this is the same shit that attracts me to certain pop rap acts of today. So I wanted to bring that up so that somebody in the comments can comment on that, because I like it when y'all do that shit. I can't stand the rain or whatever. I don't know.
Nope.
That's fine. So she does that, and then that's the rain against her window. So she doesn't like the rain against the window, which is a very lovely sound, but she doesn't. And then I feel the wind. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 10. Begin. I sit on hills like Lauren. I'm like, again, somehow you made counting sound really, really good, because the way she delivers these lines has this rapping, flowy vibe to it. And like I said, when Missy Elliott raps, every line just oozes with style and flair. But holy shit, the rest of the song version then just is the I can't stand the rain, and repeats for like a minute. And I mean, this is an interesting song that sounds a lot more like a song with the music video, where Missy Elliott gets a whole first verse where she literally compares her vagina, if I'm not mistaken, to a yo-yo, which I didn't fully understand. I'll take it. She's saying more direct shit, like, can we get kinky tonight? And I'm like, that's cool. She's very blunt, and I respect that side of her. And again, the music video is so fucking great. Can we not all agree that the music video is fucking great with the puffed up shit, because people said you couldn't make it because you're fat, so she said fuck you and puffed up. I'm gonna be anti-sexy as far as that's concerned. And then like just this weird ass video with all this crazy fashion styles and cool moves and shit, and Puff Daddy at the end, and Timbaland looking dorky the whole way through it. Every time Timbaland has shown up in one of these videos, he has looked absolutely fucking dorky, in my opinion. He does not look very cool in these videos. I think this video is incredible. It is definitely, of the 3 videos, my least favorite, but I can understand why other people might disagree with me. I gave this song a 4.5. This shit's actually really good, in my opinion. Like, this is the first one where I'm like, okay, this makes sense to me. The weird shit and all that. Like, it's got that aesthetic that would turn into all that Missy Elliott shit that I came to really know and love.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely agree with you on like the music video. I think it's great. I think it's really cool. I think it was very creative and innovative of her to basically use that like garbage bag, kind of like is what I'm thinking of her outfit that she wears and like the way that it moves and she plays with it. And I think that that's like a significant moment in her career. Like I feel like everybody knows like the moment she wore like that garbage bag outfit. And I feel like it made a comeback in another video or something, but I may be wrong. I have to double check that. But like the more that I listen to this one, the more I like it. And especially the music video, I really do think it's really, really cool. I think the colors are really cool. I think that like her outfits, like her overalls and like her dance moves and like everything in it is really cool. I like the fishbowl kind of like effect like of the like, you know, kind of zooming in, making her lips really big. And then like I just think it was like very creative and fun. You know, I like the way that she was saying like the words over and over again, like the freaky thing. And when she goes like me, it makes me think of like Remy Ma. So I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know. I think this is like sort of like Missy, like kind of like really showing off like her really cool creative side in this song and in the music video. Like she's very like artsy, and I like that about her. Like even like the way that she like places her hair and like the lipsticks and like she very much like doesn't necessarily care what people think about her, and I think that that's like really cool, and it definitely shows, and she like exudes that kind of like don't give a fuck kind of attitude without being like an asshole about it. She's just like cool, and that's it. Like you want to just be her friend. Like she's just, I like her. I think it also too, I think it feels like maybe she knew at this point that she was going to be big. Like she knew that she was going to like make it and be like a, you know, like a household name kind of thing. Anyways, I think it's really cool. I think it's really catchy. I gave it a 4.75.
Well, beep me 911, yo.
All right.
Why you cheat?
So this beat feels very funky, very, I would say, very Timbaland-like. I'll give it. This is like a more generic Timbaland sound, down to the Now maybe that wasn't generic sounding yet, but to me, just everybody knows that's Timbaland's annoying shit. It's not the better part of a Timbaland side. In fact, if he was less in the beats, I would like that more. Still, it flows in. It's got that rhythm that like I would feel is like iconic Timbaland from what I know in the later times.
Yep.
It's got features from 702, which is a thing, and then Magoo, who is a guy that I now know exists, which was my feelings looking at these features. For all I know, they're huge. And then,
well, 702 definitely had a hit. Give me 2 seconds on, as you were saying before, the Much Dance.
Oh, the music series, Much Dance?
Yep.
But, like, it was probably an R&B song that I wasn't feeling because I've never really been the biggest fan.
They sing Where My Girls At.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
Where My Girls At.
Oh, I do know that song. Okay, so I know that song. But then, so Missy Elliott's like, why are you cheating on me with all those other girls in this song? And it's super singy and whatever. And then 702's like, call me back and beat me. But 911, I guess, because pagers were once a thing that happened.
Well, you would put 911 if it was like emergency, if you really needed to talk to somebody.
So then it's like, to see what you're going to tell me. You don't want to date, no ifs, ands, or waits. It's over, babe. I mean, if I'm understanding correctly, it's like, call me back because I want to hear your excuses. So because it's over, or did I misinterpret this?
Like I'm not 100% either. Like I assumed that, like, you know, it sounds like Missy got cheated on, I think.
Yeah.
Right, and
or she's getting like, it sounds like regularly it's happening.
And then I think he, like, the guy or whatever, like, he just basically, like, up and leaves, and, like, he basically disappears from her life, and she didn't know that he was going to even leave her, and there was nothing basically to indicate that, so she seems really upset about it, and basically hoping that he'll call her to explain what the fuck happened.
Or just to give you that closure.
Yeah.
And then Magoo here definitely just shows what the ladies are talking about in 2019 in this verse, in my opinion, a little bit. Well, I'm a guy that's built to last. If you fuck with me, I'll put my foot in your ass. No, that's the wrong song. It's that's an easy E line. But so he's built to last. Look, homegirl, I pump like guys. Are you kidding me? Who the fuck describes their sex life by pumping like guys? How do you pump guys? You hold the thing and you don't move. Bad expression, motherfucker. Get your friend and your girl in there. My sex drive work out like a gym. Kim was the girl I used to hit. You the girl that I gotta quit. See the kitty kit. Gotta go let it like a light in the night when you freak out. We don't bite. No diggity when you who took you out. No doubt when I first got down. So it sounds like he left the last chick, found the new chick. He's very excited for her. You know, make it live, dip and dive, staying alive, shoot me sugar, there it is. Now we talking square biz.
Yep.
Oh, I don't give a fuck, I just dip. That's just who I am. I'm leaving you without airs, but I still love the kids. What you think? I'm handpicked, girl. Get your mind checked. Take the time, recollect. I just gave you disrespect. And I mean, now that I understand the context is, I guess, Missy's like, what the fuck, dude? And then he's just saying, yeah, I'm a dick. And then the song just kind of ends. It makes more sense to me now than prior to us talking about it, because I really didn't understand it at first. But, I mean, it just sounds like... It sounds like that's some shit that actually happens, now that I really think about it.
Yeah.
So I get the point of it. I think the song's very fucking boring.
And it's a 5-minute song, so it's not quite short.
I mean, Magoo raps well. I have to give him his credits as a rapper. And the role he plays, like, it makes sense to me what this song is now. It is unfortunate that people behave like that, so I guess it shines light on that situation. But, like, it's just so boring to me. I give it a 4.1. I feel like if I liked R&B, maybe I would like this more. But, like, 2/3 of this song, it just feels like this drawn-out, singy experience that... like, I just have a lot of trouble getting into. I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else, to say besides what I said. I gave it a 4 on 5. I mean, it's an okay song. It's good, whatever. I mean, it sucks about the guy, like, that he's such a dick. But, yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about it.
All right. Well, they don't want to fuck with me.
She, we them deal one the twins, she's in her bands. We them deal create.
How do you feel about this one?
It's very, again, like, of the times. It definitely sounds like, 1997 era. For me, like, this one is like Timbaland is featured on this one, but, like, I really didn't find anything really to say much about this song. I feel like it wasn't bad. It's not good, and it just, honestly, I think if it just never existed, I wouldn't have missed it, or I wouldn't miss it or anything. Like, it just felt bland. Like, there really wasn't, like, and with such a title, they don't want to fuck with me, like, you would expect it to be like some, like, hard, whatever type of shit, kind of fly shit, super fly shit. And yeah, for me, I definitely did not feel that on this one. I felt it was very bland, so I gave it a 3 on 5.
I mean, I thought the beat was pretty tight. I'll be honest with you. It kind of, like, picks up, and I'm like, oh my god. Maybe it was partly because it was not R&B or that sign. It just felt like a nice bumping beat. So I was feeling that. And then, I don't know, more of Missy Elliott stroking off Timbaland's fucking dick in the word form. Honestly, the amount of times that Missy Elliott, it's like, Timbaland's the shit. I mean, I get it. I got the appreciation. But from, like, an artistic point of view, it's not a good album move. It's just a good business move. And that's just facts. Like, if you are shouting out Timbaland, it's just telling everybody Missy wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Timbaland every single time. Timbaland's ego required that shit. It says a lot about Timbaland's character. Now, you can call it branding, then we go back to my artist versus business argument. I digress. But then it kicks in with the M.I. to the S.S. They put that on my chest, my cause the way I flex. And it's just dope. It's just fucking fly. It has a style to them where I agree with you. She didn't come hard. She came with style. She came with a style that others cannot match. She came with a style that who could say such not hard shit so fly, you know, like, but I'm just too damn chill for them. No way I flip my shit. It feels like a good hit, and even if you buy it, you're gonna be smoking in this. Hey, what you gotta say is a bad is a zazazazay. And the fact that that sounded doper than pretty much like a lot of rhymes talking about how dope you are, that's the type of shit you can't fuck with. Timbaland then proceeds to tell you all the reasons you can fuck with him, because frankly his verse does not get to the point of feeling any of the same shit that you felt over like Too Bad from the Big VA, 12 blunts a day, chilling on the... Shut up, Timbaland. Nobody cares how much weed you smoke. I mean, that's just me. You might care that Timbo bust open 12 whole cigars full of marijuana and puts that to the torch and inhales that. He gets super high. He gets higher than you. Who cares? I personally think those are some of the lamest lyrics rappers have ever come out with. I do drugs better than you. It is what they're saying. Just throwing it out there. It's not actually, I could outdrink you. I mean, if you're 12, if you're like 16, that's a cool idea. If you're 20, maybe. If you're 31, it's like, I can sleep in and wake up fresh in the morning, motherfucker. That's my dream here.
Okay.
It's true. Either way, the third verse is fine. It doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's still fly, though. Like, if you cut out Timbaland's verse, and it was just Missy, and then you cut out the part where she shouts out Timbaland at the end and has to talk about dancing because the beat is so good, this is Missy's words, that like she doesn't even need to be there. She just gotta go dance now, and then just stops like rapping to or whatever to just like play it out, and Missy just kind of like talks a bit or whatever, and you're just like, what the fuck is this song? Like as a song.
Yep.
Like, there's so much ego stroking towards Timbaland. First of all, the beat is not that fly to me. It does require Missy doing her fly shit to really bring it there. Missy just kind of rambling at the end wasn't doing it for me right. I don't know how to feel. Like, it could have been Supa Dupa Fly, but instead it was just kind of fly.
Yeah.
4.35 on 5. I do enjoy the parts of it that I like a lot. I could Timbaland's easy to not listen to during his verse. That's when you're like singing along with Missy. Okay, we can talk now. Timbaland's verse. Okay, Missy's back. That's how it would be like at the party for me. Anyway.
Anyways, whatever. Let's can you pass that blunt?
You would. Pass the butts on the left hand side.
How does this song start off? Oh, Timbaland, your beats are so wonderful. All of the other producers, they're just jacking your style. Those producers can't do what you do, Sir Timbaland. You holy knight of the music industry, you are wonderful. Then what happens later on? Timbaland shows up.
Classic.
Welcome to Timbaland and Missy's Hit Factory. Not even like Missy Elliott. No, it's Timbaland and Missy's Hit Factory. Mm-hmm. He's first. He's more important. Everybody needs to know that.
Yep.
Got past it. The rest of the song is actually really fucking dope. Like, Missy's flow on this verse is so like, bitches. I never want to hang with bitches. You know, it's just this weird, cool, energetic, passionate flow. Every bitch want to meet me booty licking, my ass they kissing, but I feel like they way too picky. And then I used to know a guy named Rick. It's not like, again, I don't care what she's saying.
Yeah.
I really don't. I love the way she's saying it. It's super fucking flowy. It's just like, it's so stylistic. Like everything else that I said about her rapping so far. Excellent. Next level shit. The chorus is actually nice. Like, pass the blunt on the left hand. Like, it's playing off of the Pass the Dutchie on the left hand side song.
Yep.
And then, of course, because you think Timbaland's ego doesn't need it, he got beats. He got the beats that make me jump. Shut up. Nobody cares about fucking Timbaland. I don't actually know if that's part of the song, like the original song she's citing or whatever. I'm saying that it seems to me like Timbaland was using this as an opportunity to point out how he is excellent and and you want Timbaland because he's wonderful. I mean, he was right. I mean, I can count, like, there's a ton of albums that he blessed and made excellent.
Yep.
So he's not wrong. It's just he's kind of egotistical. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, as a person, it seems like he's more using the artists, is what it feels like to me. Like, this is Timbaland's album under the guise of Missy Elliott.
Maybe.
That's my perception. I might be wrong. That's okay. I do like the fact that she's just like, I always keep it good. I get him for his figures. I, also known as Gold Digger. I'm like, that's pretty straight up. She's just like, that's what's up. They're mad because I be flossing. Yeah, this pussy costing the kind that be tossing. You know I'm rocking because there will be no stopping. I'm like, wait a second. In the middle of this shit, she's just like, you know what? I'll fuck whoever I gotta fuck if it gets me all the nice stuff. And I'm proud of that. And I had to say, like, that's dope. That's fly. See, I'm the type of person that respects people who are proud of who they are, regardless of who they are, as long as they represent who they are. So if that's true, and that's the type of person she is, and she's proud of that shit, or she reps that shit, do it. There's at least 2 or 3 people on my Facebook that are proud of being sugar babies, and they live a life, and they'll talk about it in their Facebook stories as they're, like, doing their shit, and they are proud little sugar babies. And I'm like, those people I respect more than, say, the girl that goes on the $200 date and doesn't fuck the guy for 4 dates just to collect the same experience, but doesn't want to call herself a sugar baby. Throwing it out there. Not that different empirically, except the one girl I did respect more because she's more honest. Anyway, this song is actually pretty fucking dope, like, in terms of what it is. If Timbaland wasn't Timbaland on it, I think I'd really fucking love it more, but I give it a 4.4 on 5. It's one of the better songs on this project to me.
Yeah, I mean, this one's obviously, like, it's a slower song, and it's just sort of talking about, like, how fly they are, how they have nice things, and how they have great weed. And obviously, like you were saying, musical youth's song, Pass the Dutchie, is, like, the inspiration, I think, for, like, at least the chorus of this one. But I feel like I still like the original better. It sounds like a little bit Jamaican-y, which is kind of fun. And I don't know, she sounds cool. It's got a good ending. I would say this is a cool song, but it's not like the best on the album. For me, I gave it a 3.75.
All right, the next one is a little interlude called Bite Our Style. So this samples Jamiroquai's Morning Glory, and just how often does anyone ever talk about Jamiroquai? Not enough in life. We just don't. It's there, and everybody listen to it. Nobody talks about it. Me and Timbaland, we make you want to bite our style. Fa la 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 la. And I guess what they're trying to say here is that her and Timbaland are very dope.
Yep.
And their style is so superb that you're going to want to jack their shit, which we found out in the last song is something you shouldn't do, but they're letting you know that the temptation is before you. This was a thing. It sounds all right, actually. If it's really flossy, it really works as an interlude, and it really does sound nice. Like, this would have been the appropriate time to plug Timbaland. This doesn't bother. This makes sense. This little interlude that isn't ruining, like, 4 songs in a row. Be that as it may, this is also the 3rd fucking song in a row that we've had to talk about how good Timbaland's style is.
Yeah.
4.25 on 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smooth little piece. It's only 44 seconds. It's just basically talking about how cool they are, and that's pretty much it. I gave it a 4 on 5.
All right. The next song is called Friendly Skies. It sounds to me as though Timbaland is in the background with one of those little toy voice modulators you would have gotten in the 90s in a fucking cereal box that make your voice go rah, rah. And he's just like rah 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 rah. Or he sounds like the dudes who are who have the hole in their throat from the cigarettes who have to play rah rah. This is how I talk now. Like those motherfuckers. That's what's going on in the background of this beat. And it doesn't sound like a real effect. It sounds like a fucking toy made it.
Yep. Well, that's Ginuwine.
Who's making the noises in the back?
Yeah,
okay,
he's done that in several songs.
It just sounds like a toy. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know who Ginuwine is. I just discovered he's a guy. And then there's like, Missy, fly with me. And I'm like, okay. This was a whole song where 5 minutes went by. I listened to it 4 times in a row, and I could not care less about this fucking song. I mean, like, I actually wanted to ask you YouTubers and even you, Bonnie, is this a good song? Do you guys like this? This is like right in the realms of love song. Kiss me, hold me. The weatherman says it's gonna be cold tonight. Fuck, I don't care. I'm a stewardess of the plane. Feel the turbulence and maintain. Please refrain and stay in your seats until we reach the gate. I don't care. It's just boring ass like love anticipation music. And like it's probably some shit you're supposed to listen to while you're drinking some wine and you're gonna get your freak on. But Get Your Freak On is a song that makes me want to get my freak on a lot more than, say, Friendly Skies. I think they're in an airplane. I think that's what's up.
Yeah.
It is just boring. It is just so fucking boring to me. But it is well made. Mm-hmm. I cannot deny that everybody sings really professional sounding. Like, whereas the other ones sounded like Missy sounds like a professional R&B singer here compared to like the other ones. Ginuwine, I didn't know he sang until today. He's not R. Kelly. R. Kelly has a much better voice.
Okay.
Or Usher. I like Usher better.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 guys I can think of in the whole genre that I can compare it to. I don't. Oh, there's other people, but I can't think of them.
Okay.
I give this a 4.
I agree. I mean, I also gave this a 4. There's definitely something about a flight. That they're in the sky, they're flying, and then I feel like that just kind of stops at one point, like they're not in the plane anymore, and you're like, okay, not really sure what happened there. Maybe they still are. I just didn't really get it.
I think the plane is sex.
Yeah, and I think this is just like a sex song. It's just like a slow. It sounds like Pony by Ginuwine, I think, and like with like the digital noises, it sounds like something that you would put on and you could just see Magic Mike dancing to this, like all slow and like grinding up on you and shit. So like that's what I feel like this is like for like the females.
This is male stripper music?
Yes, that's what I'm gonna say. Ginuwine makes male stripper music, absolutely.
That explains why I have no idea.
Yes. And in all honesty, it made me want to fall asleep. So it didn't really engage me or anything like that. It still sounded good, but there wasn't really much else to it. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 as well.
All right. The next one doesn't do a lot more for me, but it has Aaliyah and has better concept. So, Best Friends. So, Missy Elliott as the best friend to Aaliyah, I'm assuming, doesn't want to listen to Aaliyah crying on the phone about how her man's not treating her right, and she's done with showing her sympathy. Deal with that situation, and when you do, you can come hang out. A nice little girl. What's the girl version of a bromance? Besties? BFFs?
I guess, yeah, BFFs.
Girl bromance chorus here. I'll still be there for you in your time.
Galmance.
Yeah, it's just whatever. It's like a love song to your best friend who's gonna hold you down because what is it? Chicks not dicks or whatever. Chicks before dicks.
Yep.
That's the one that ladies go with.
Yep.
And that shit. Missy Elliott, it's like my best friend's like I can stay with her and hang out with her if you fuck around with my life. So I can leave, and that's the song.
Yep.
And they sing. And they sing like it's lovely. I just don't feel like on any front this song is meant for me. Like, I don't know that I'm calling up my girls to sing about the jilted guys in my life. Like, I can't relate to that. I suppose I got a guy I can call to talk about some shit, but like, we aren't gonna make songs like my best friend. Like, if we said that shit, it'd be fucking weird.
I wouldn't make that happen.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes sense. It's a really good song, and I can see how if I was a young lady, this is the shit. I'm not that, so this is going to be another 4, because it's, again, good as far as I understand the genre, and it's well made, but I have like no interest in it. And I can tell you that these two songs, and I listened to them both multiple times in a row, it was one of the most boring 45 minutes of fucking album reviewing. And maybe not that long, but definitely more than a half an hour of album reviewing of these two songs, and it was just terrible in my opinion as a person.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like looking back now, I always appreciate any time I get a chance to hear Aaliyah. So I appreciate that. But besides that, so they're just basically listening to like, you know, the advice of the best friend, and apparently her and Missy were like actually like very good friends. So I think that's really cool, and like maybe, you know, maybe it is a best friend. Which is pretty cool. Unfortunate for Missy having to like go through that, losing your best friend. But yeah, I mean, she's always there for you, and it's nothing spectacular on this song. It's a bit slow, and they didn't really say or do anything very exciting on this song. It's sort of like, hey, you're my best friend, give me dating advice or whatever, or don't. It felt a little bit long, and it's only 4 minutes and 7 seconds, so it shouldn't have felt as long as it did. So I gave it a 3.9. As much as I appreciate Aaliyah and of course Missy, it just was a little bit nothing for me.
I was hoping the next song would be about something very different than what it turned out to be about, because I was hoping it would be more like, don't be coming in my face.
Be seeing me anymore. No.
So she sings for a while, which is boring to me at this point, because it just sounds like all the other songs that she sang on. It kind of blends in. We used to have this term we used back in the day called the blender effect, where like what you're listening to just all starts to kind of sound the same, like when shit gets put into a blender and blended all on up. And I haven't felt that in like 6 months to a year, all of those albums, until this very fucking moment where this song I'm just like, oh, more sing. And it's not bad, right? Like, you never know a good thing till I'm gone, and you'll be spending many, many nights home alone, not coming in my face, which is kind of what I was hoping she was going to go with that. You won't be seeing around your way, no. And if you don't get it together, baby, I can't stay. Don't be coming in my face trying to tell me you love me. I'm like, that's not the right kind of coming in your face. And I know
It can be.
I mean, I get it.
It doesn't always have to be actual coming in your face.
But, like, honestly, for, like, my interests, you should have thought once or twice, sacrifice and make her. I just don't care about, like, this kind of lukewarm love song stuff. Like, it's not real love song shit. There's no real passion here. You want to talk about real passion in a love song? Go put on Lizzo's 'Cause I Love You. That album I just reviewed, I think it literally put it out today as we're reviewing this, the same day we're recording this shit. And honestly, that shit's full of love. That's believable. This is fucking crap. This isn't believable. This is like empowerment music. It's like candy and soap operas. Anyway, then there's like that like rappy verse where she's like, to my east side people, to my west side, to all my bitches who sat home crying over these fellas, shake them off like Jello. I'm just like, okay. I used to stick closer to your side than a beeper till you smoked that cheaper reefer. Now you lose. That's a good line, right? Because he's saying that the side chick that she fucked who was less quality than her is like smoking some Reggie compared to some fine ass bud. It sounds alright. It's fine. It's like, and I get it. Like, guys are misplaying women and shit, and men are kind of dicks, and you know, I get it. But do it more interesting, in my opinion. That's all I'm trying to say. It's very empowering, but not that interesting to me. Whereas if she had just added like a twist to it, like, since you don't respect me, you can't be coming in my face, ejaculate. That would have made the song like 80 times better, because that's more realistic.
You just want there to be semen involved.
Because look at the title, don't be coming in my face. Like, you're allowed to be coming in other places, but like, don't put it in my mouth or face. Like, that's a line guys have heard before. You know, you watching this. Don't put it in my face. You can put it anywhere else, but don't be coming in my face. You know, like, that's a sentence I've heard before in my life. So I wanted it to be like more, because she has the sex side. It's not like implausible.
Yeah.
I had nothing else to say about the song. Okay, like, this is what I can say.
I mean, I agree with you. I like the title of the song. I think it is fine, and I think it is like a play on words and everything. And I think she's basically saying, like, you won't, realize how great I am until I'm gone. So you better get your act together and like stop fucking around and kind of like stop being an idiot. Like, she's giving like a warning a little bit. And then she says, like, you need to leave like the losers and like don't give them like any second thought. Like, they're not good for you. Move on. So I think it is a good message. Just like the sound isn't necessarily my favorite. And I don't know, talking about playing women and like, guys shouldn't do that. And, girls need to be like stronger and just be like, like whatever, just let them go and not go back to like shitheads, basically. So, I mean, there's good rhymes on here. I definitely have to say that. I give this a 4 on 5.
All right. Well, Izzy,
Take that. What? Take that. Yeah.
This sounds like a slightly more bored version of like the hyper ones we've been hearing, which I guess is kind of the point, because she's trying to show that she's like so fucking fly and this is also whatever, that like she is blasé about that shit and whatever. But like she sounds dope, but like a little bit kind of laid back dope compared to the normal, which I just explained.
Yeah.
Timbaland's beat is really the samey. It doesn't change a lot. It just feels like you either really love that groove or it'll maybe start to get to you after a while, like it did for me. So I'm not a huge fan of that beat, but I do otherwise like the song. It's in the same line of the other kinds of stuff we've been dealing with. So I pulls up in my stretch, I let my homegirls flex, 9-8, close and closer. They follow in my limo, playing CDs of when I used to hee totally in my ass cheeks. They sweat these beats for any kind of Jeeps. You know how I is so freaking hot that I sees Jeep. Anyway, she's fly. She got some shit flowing now. References her other song. It's all good. I don't know that there's a whole lot here that's interesting. I mean, it's to the point where I can even go, guess what? She shouts out Timbaland. But I already feel like I've said that multiple times on this review.
Yep.
And
in case you didn't hear it the first time.
Of all of the versions of like whatever, this is better than all the ones I was giving 4s to. But I don't feel like it really brought me back in or my interest peaked. But I also, as we were just listening to it, felt like I could see how if we cut out the fucking 4 songs we just went through and then we had this right after, say, I don't know, Pass the Blunt, it would be pretty okay. So I'm giving it a 4.2.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is kind of fun, and they're basically just playing around with sounds and whatever, and there's nothing really substantial being said on this, clearly. I'll read kind of like part of it. Izzy, zizzy, zizza, hard bitches be talking like they all rah, blizzy, blaza, none of y'all fools ain't got shit on me. So, I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's just kind of blah, 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 like noises. And so, I mean, it's fun and it's different. I think that she kind of takes like a more creative route because she doesn't have to say anything and it still says like volumes, I guess. Like it says like, you know what she's saying without having to say the words. She's just like that fly, I think that's kind of what it is that she's saying. So I give this a 4.1.
I agree with all of that. Anyway, the next one is Why You Hurt Me.
She wear her dresses, has she learned her lesson from all the dick testing? Now I'm getting.
So like on the one hand, we got a real fucking proper rap song. Like this is proper rap song.
Yeah.
On the other hand, wow, is she a slut shamer. Man, in like 2019 lanes.
Yeah.
Like, I know somebody out there is a nasty, nasty friend who want to go around humping everybody. Can I get a hoe? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to talk about this one I had a few years ago. Who cares? That friend is cool. Let her be. You want to fuck 1,000 dudes? You want to fuck 4 guys. Does the value of you as a person change? No. Maybe if you're having really bad, like you're giving out AIDS kind of sex, it's a different
That's
story.
probably, bad news bears.
But like, that's not what we're talking about. And I get it. This is the AIDS epidemic era where everyone's like,
well, I mean, it's like 1997, so
it's
a
still
little bit
pretty
past.
prevalent.
It's past.
It's still like a prevalent threat, right? Like it's
Well, 1997, I was like 10. I'm like,
AIDS was still a thing back then.
well, AIDS still exists.
I mean, like the AIDS is scary shit didn't actually end until the late 2000s when it wasn't quite so terminal. It was still kind of a death sentence up until then.
I guess. I
like-
feel like they've kind of gotten it under
Like
control by now.
now, but like it was in the late 2000s when it wasn't like such a death threat to get it. In 97, you still like, even if they had cured anything, education levels of the people isn't caught up yet. Either way, I had a friend named Cootie. Tootie turned tricks to get some Gucci, known as a loose booty. Truly, she was a freak in the eat. And it's great rap, man. It's like on point. And she wasn't teasing. They give me one reason why she do that. I always knew that. Because she's fucking poor. That's why she's doing that. I don't know Tootie, but I know that Tootie comes from a life that probably didn't have a lot of great shit going, and Tootie probably looked a little good, and Tootie discovered that if she lets dudes have sex with her, she can get some shit. Who the fuck was bragging about being a gold digger in the other song? Oh, that happened. Anyway.
Yes, but she's not a hoe. You can be a gold digger without being a hoe.
Is it? Is that really what?
Because I feel like, yes, let me like analyze this for a moment. Because I feel like you can be a gold digger and just go after like people who are super rich and that, but
So
without
because
having to like sleep
you're
around
fucking
with them.
like 1 or 2 really rich guys, you're better than if you humped Ralph, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike?
Oh, absolutely.
Like what? Like what is this? Has she learned her lesson from all the dick tested? Now I'm guessing she's laying in a casket. Like,
Because ladies, heads up, if you have too much sex, you'll die.
and if you have a baby, depending on your state, in 2019, there could be some real consequences if you want to deal in that situation. Just throwing it out there for preposterous ass shit that's going on
I
in the
feel
world.
like we should not get into that.
I don't want. I am confident in saying that that law is going to play out like prohibition played out in 1920.
It's just gonna be a whole bunch of back alley abortions.
We're literally saying the same thing. When you apply prohibition to an American population, what do you think is going to happen? Like prohibition stop people anyway from anything? Come on, guys. History has taught us the truth of how this shit plays out.
I just feel bad because like we feel like we've seen all of like the videos where people like women have gone through all of this shit and it just doesn't. It always pans out. But I mean, has anybody seen Dirty Dancing? Come on.
Anyway, well, Tootie didn't know the facts of life, and neither do a bunch of politicians in Alabama and shit. Staying up in clinics, Lucy Booty. Like, do you really think punishing people is gonna stop the behavior? Is that really the line of thinking here? Has that worked with anybody? No. Anyway, the song's just kind of slut-shamey and really weird on the same album where she's bragging about being a gold digger. So I don't know what the standards is, but she actually fucking hates this hoe to the point where she can't
wrote
even...
an entire song about it.
and can't congregate with her, but don't judge her because she's a gold digger. Literally on the same album. I mean, I'm the type of person that catches that kind of shit, and I know a lot of
I
people...
feel like I've already explained it. I feel like being a gold digger is better than being a hoe.
To me, being a gold digger is just being
As
a
long as you're
high-class
not a
hoe.
gold
Allow me to
digger.
be, like, clear. If you go on dates and the guys just pay for everything and you then proceed to have intercourse with them because he bought you a nice meal, you're a prostitute. It's no, there's no ifs, ands, or... No, it's like that.
I don't know if it... I don't think a prostitute it makes you. I think that it's like...
If your habit and your MO is about the expensive versions of these dates, like it has to be a $300 meal, then yeah, you're a prostitute. If you're okay with going to McDonald's, okay, maybe I'm sounding like a bit of an asshole here. I'm saying if it has to be, not if you enjoy fine dining. I'm saying if on the first date, this is the bare minimum or else you're not in the door.
I mean, I feel like at that
Look,
point,
I know
then that
guys,
kind of makes you...
like I have friends who are like, yo, I don't even spend less than $200 on the first date. Are you kidding me? And I'm like, you can literally get a prostitute in Montreal for that price. I'm saying
You could probably get like 4 of them.
we're not Taiwan. The girls kind of a price.
Well, I'm sure that there still are some, like, anyways, whatever.
Well, streetwalkers, the type that are really cheap, aren't very
Lady
legal.
of the night.
What's legal here is more of the internet escort, massage parlor. The mayors let it happen because we have a lot of tourist version of that side.
Well, I mean, I think that there are also a lot of girls that get kind of trafficked in or brought in, whatever you want to call it.
I'm saying
like
it's the
during,
street
like,
corner version.
NASCAR and
Doesn't
all that
happen.
shit.
Like, that doesn't happen in Montreal. We cleaned up our streets a while ago. I don't know. I just look at it. I'm not trying to imply that every girl who goes on fancy things. I'm saying if it's like the relationship is guy takes you to $300 meal over and over again, and then you sleep with him, and if guy doesn't do that, you don't sleep with him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In that point, yes.
Then you're basically a prostitute who's using food as... In fact, the prostitute gets cash. You get food. I'm going to throw it out there like that. Anyway, people take shame and pride in whatever the fuck they want. I like this song because it was, like, as a song, really good. Philosophically, I don't get it. 4.25 on 5.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that there's anything else that I need to say about it. I feel like we talked about it enough. Just basically about this girl who, like, was playing around, and I think at the beginning she may have also talked about, like, the fact that she got abused / raped, I think, and, like, that's why she dresses like this, and that's why she acts like this. And, like, I think that's kind of, like, I may be, like, not 100%, but for me it kind of tells a story of, like, this is why she acts like a hoe, because this is how guys have treated her like shit. I don't know. I guess I say, like, I don't know if this is, like, the accurate truth of the song.
I mean, I took the first verse where it sounds like dude just disrespected her and talked a lot of shit about how he fucked her or whatever.
Yeah.
And then all the other guys seem to be doing it too and just passing her around. So, I don't know. It just sounds like she's a hoe. But not in a prostitute.
But it also sounds kind of like she wasn't maybe living, like, the best life, and this is how guys just have been treating her entire life.
I feel like it's almost the cycle of this is a girl who learned that by fucking guys she'll get attention, and it's a cautionary tale to not be like that person.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. For me, like, it was sort of weird sounding, and for me, it wasn't that great.
Also, if she's laying in a casket for a Gucci jacket, gold digger.
She's willing to die for her Gucci.
Anyway.
I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Fair enough. The next one is I'm Talking.
I'm calling your cards like Sprint. Can't be me, can't see me.
Well, I do agree that Missy is such a good rapper. I'm not 100% sure this song really showcases that to the fullest, in my opinion. It is a good song, and she has a certain degree of flair and everything to it. Like, in fact, I like this song better than a lot of the album. And it's got, like, a proper flow, that calm thingy. I like when she's like, I go scoop little kid, me, she, her, them. Oh, hold on. When I'm seeing these blows, hoes want to roll like Hydro, want to suck Timbaland's bone like you Fido.
Blech.
Like, why is she talking about how the groupies want to suck, or she wants to suck Timbaland's dick in the middle of this shit? All right.
Because he needs to know.
He needs you to know that goofy ass motherfucker in those music videos, because he has a lot of money, was getting his dick sucked. I mean, you might think he's cute. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's possible. I think he looked like a corny guy that had a lot of cash.
Well, which can be very attractive for a lot of people.
Anyway, so she goes and scoops Lil Kim and everybody's going down. Let's get high in the tunnel. They see my Lexus coming. They hear the bass rumbling. They come quick like a dick.
Mm-hmm. You said it.
I make myself sick. I'm so motherfucking bad to the bone, like my titties are full blowing. Like, what? I don't know. I don't know how to respond to her lyrics. They technically all make sense. And again, the way she raps, her style is the bomb diggy. Her style of rapping is very good. Is she a good rapper? Well, her style is extremely good, and she does give me good and plenty. So I'm okay with it. I think she does not have bars. And that's okay. I think she gets bars later on. But, like, I'm calling your cards like Sprint. Can't be me. Can't see me. I'm low like Tim. Ladies and gents, dogs, cats, and babies. Whoever bit my style, I hope you croak from the rabies. She just wished death on babies for stealing her style.
Yep.
That's hard, I guess. I don't know.
It.
I gave this song a 4.35. I think it's really fun, and it has a certain energy to it that's really great. And like, I wish more of the album sounded like this.
Yeah. I mean, I think it has like a nice beat. It sounds kind of like slow and groovy. Like it's, you know, again, very like late 90s sounding. Maybe it's like Timbaland. Maybe he was just like had his fingers in like all of the music and like, you know, kind of contributed to that feeling that I'm getting from a lot of these songs. Her rhymes are fun. Her flow is great. It's kind of a sexy sounding song a little bit. And she's basically saying that she's a fly rapper and she's impressive and she knows it. And that's what it is. So I give it a 4 on 5.
All right. The next one is called Gettaway.
No, mama, daddy, you ain't.
This is one of the best songs on the album. I feel like I've waited the whole album for something that was this fly and this actually dope. I mean, at the jump, you have Nicole just coming in rapping. The beat's fucking flying, like kind of gets you ready to pumped up and shit. Close your eyes, visualize space, and I'll verbalize. You chastise but can't stop my enterprise. Put your rhymes in a line, put your raps in a stack. I'll break you and your singer like Jenga. I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna say that it's gotten like top-notch dopeness in terms of the writing, but we've left the weird randomness of Missy into something that's more reminiscent of, like, I guess what I'm comfortable and understanding of hip-hop. I'm the shit, and I'm saying it like I'm the shit, and it really fucking flows nice. I love the way she ends the verse with Colossal Itty Bitty, Space and Missy, sip my style till you're pissy, Virginia bitch galactic. I love it. I love it how she ends it like that. I mean, I want to be part of the Galactic Committee. It is a dream of my life that may not come to be
what is a Galactic Committee?
It's a committee at a galaxy level.
So are the meetings held in space?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
In the Galaxy Center HQ place.
You mean the Milky Way?
The Milky Way is a solar system, and I believe that's within the galaxy.
Correct.
I don't know. I'm not up to date on my space terms like I should be.
I don't know if you're going to make that Galaxy Committee.
You know what? You can go fuck yourself. Missy comes in and does her shit, and it's all right. I don't know. It's fine. Mama, daddy, you ain't ready. Act like you know me. Fly as friends be. Sizzling. I'm chilling. Man, you twisting. You sissy. You diss me. You wish you was fucking tight. Auntie Papa smoke lala. All right. It's fine. And then Space does again, I know I sound like dismissive. Lyrically, I don't think she has bars, but I do think she styles it and flows it with this cool-ass, ridiculously awesome, unique voice. And may it be said at least once, she manages to have a different and new way of rapping every single time she raps. While she might not be able to do that with the singing, in my opinion, she definitely has it with the rapping. And then there's the third verse from Space. Yeah, the final frontier. These are the Voyagers of the Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, God.
Anyway, it flows on through. Same shit. Really dope. Really fun to listen to. Enjoyable track. This is a 4.5 on 5. I honestly feel like I waited the whole album for like this. It's really dope.
All right. I mean, I think it's good. I think it was fine. I like Nicole. She rapped well. The beat is super funky. And it's basically like a warning that if you don't want to battle them, or basically saying like you don't want to battle them because they're going to destroy you. And for me, it felt, because this is 4 minutes 25 seconds, and it's like getting to like the end of the album. For me, it definitely felt like a little bit dragged on, like a smidge. But for me, it was fine. I gave it a 4 on 5.
All right. Before we move on, I do have a question for you, hip-hop head finasciados, or whatever that word is.
I don't think that's a word.
I made it up. It's the new word for you guys.
Initiados.
That's fine.
All right.
What did Jimmy Iovine try to scare Missy Elliott here for? What about giving away her publishing? Like, I know what publishing is. I don't understand in the context of this song why she's scared to do this and what Jimmy Iovine's going on about.
What are you going on about? What do you mean exactly?
In the outro, where she's like, "Hey yo, I'm kind of scared to do this because Jimmy trying to scare me, saying I'm gonna give away my publishing."
Okay.
As far as record label line goes, do you know of another Jimmy? Do you know who Jimmy Iovine?
Yes.
Interscope.
Yes.
He's basically like, hey, hip hop can make a lot of money for us major labels, and really invested into it.
Yeah.
That is a short version of part of how Jimmy Iovine launched a lot of rap. He said, "Oh shit, this is good, and there's money in it," and then pushed a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it a lot. Did you like it a lot? No, that's fine. Why don't we move on? I'm kidding. You liked it enough.
Okay. Anyways, let's check out Busta's outro.
Which is different than the intro.
Busy day-to-day living to do the knowledge, take in and observe and
I much prefer on Break Your Neck when Busta Bust just does the whole song. Like, that's a really fun song. Or like, Busta, what it is right now. All sorts of great Busta Rhymes moments in my memories. The Twerk It song was really bad. That was not a good moment. That's with Nicki Minaj, if you don't remember.
Okay, yeah.
This outro is just so non-distinct. Like, it could be there, it could not be there. It's the same beat as the intro.
Yep.
Only it plays. And we mentioned Missy and Timbaland, and it's official bang shit, hip-hop music. Okay, like the only thing I really do like about this outro, in all seriousness, is when he thanks you for taking the time out of your busy day to like really listen to this. And since zero rappers have ever really thanked me and acknowledging that I'm busy too, thank you, Busta Rhymes. Like,
He always has our back. What a
I
great
appreciate you in this moment. I'm not a huge fan of your outro, but I appreciate the sentiment. So I give it a 4.25 because he appreciated me. And I mean, it makes sense. He's like an MC introducing it. He's like the master of ceremonies for like the big show. And it does add a bit of a theater element to the album, etc., etc. But
Yeah, I mean, it's a minute 38. Like I said, it's, you know, the same beat as the intro. Thanks to the listener for enjoying it and taking the time, and how it was brought together by Missy and Timbaland. I feel like I'm not saying anything new. Just stay aware, and basically, like, until next time, like, we'll see you. So it's fine. I give it a 3.5.
all right. And because the outro wasn't enough, we have Missy's finale, some spoken words.
Me through my ups and downs and through my whole period of doing this album.
So she thanks God and she thanks Timbaland.
Yeah, basically.
All the people who appeared on the album. It's kind of like the Grammy speech for like the album, but like at the end of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could live without not hearing it.
But it was nice of her, I guess.
Like, it was nice, but like, if I were to play this album through, I'm turning it off at Gettaway. I'm not listening to these two little entries. I'm going to give it a 4 because it was really nice and sincere sounding.
Yeah.
But on the real, it's so I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, it's 24 seconds, so it's not like it's like, you know, a huge thing or anything. You know, she thanks God, she thanks Timbaland, and she thanks like all the features on her album, which is nice. I mean, it's 3.5. I gave it.
All right, I gave this album I'm giving it a 4. I dropped the grade of what the math worked out. Here's the thing. There's a lot of albums out there that, like this album has a lot of interesting going on it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there aren't many actual songs on this project that I want to listen to the whole thing. Like, I like the Beep Beep song. That's fun.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite song.
There's like 3 or 4 of them that I think are like, you guys heard the ones that I liked.
Yeah.
So there's like 3 or 4 of them I think are really strong. Then there's a few of them that I find really boring for me. And then so like Missy Elliott's rapping technique is excellent. Timbaland's beats I like his later beats more, but like the ones where he hit. I just, like, I don't know. I feel so conflicted about this album. I wonder, like, how much of it is just my style preferences keeping me from seeing the brilliance of all of that R&B. But in general, I just thought that mostly the parts where Missy sounded fly were really dope. and the rest of this, and the music videos. So
Yeah.
those 3 music
Very
videos
creative.
are absolute must-watches. And check out those 3 songs with the videos. And maybe listen to the Rain without the video, this because it's actually kind of like a weird song without the video. It's just a lot of beeping in the beginning. I don't know, like it's I don't know how to process this album. This was the hardest album I think I've had to review of all of the albums, because I don't know what Bjork made more sense than this project did to me. It sounded like Timbaland flossing his production skills and Missy like, hey, I can rap. I'm like, it sounds like in no conceivable universe should this project have been made the way that it was. But like nobody's unhappy that this album got made at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I gave it a 3.8 on 5, so it's a 76%. So not a classic. And like one thing that was happening, like when as I was reviewing it, like the last time I was like listening to it again, because I guess I just had it on like. Anyways, the next song was a random Missy Elliott song that just started playing, and it was Lose Control, and I was like, yes! Like, that was the only part where I got, like, really excited when a song that was not on this album came on. So that's kind of saying something. I mean, it was fun, and I think it did, obviously, like, create a path for her. And this was, like, her breakaway, you know, kind of, like, starting off on her own, and she had a lot of friends helping her out, which is great, but it didn't really, like, as like a whole album experience, it wasn't really super enjoyable at some points. Like, it kind of lagged a bit, and there were some parts that were really hype, and and I love Missy. Like, I wanted to like go in, you know, really with good expectations I had, and yeah, I mean, they weren't really fulfilled, but it was still fun, and I definitely don't regret doing this.
Fair enough. Thank y'all for watching it. Totally appreciate it. Feel free to leave a little comment describing whatever you want to describe, and I'll come answer you like I said at the beginning. Also, if you like what we do and you want to see more reviews, you can hit that subscribe button. You can hit that like button, which is also super fun if you do. Or you can hit the dislike button, because when people hit the dislike button, it's like, oh shit, they watched. Like, they watched. You know that the people who disliked it watched. Right? And I take like some.
I feel like they just turned it on. They're like, these people are idiots, and they just like.
They still had to watch enough to decide we were idiots,
I suppose.
which is fair.
Thank
you look
you
at
for
my
deciding
mug,
that you're idiots.
it might not be your favorite. Special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, DJ Black Hurricane, Lindell Williams, and Jonathan Barnes. So I appreciate all y'all. They support us more directly, and you can help us do things like get better equipment and lighting and shit in this room, which will be great if you want to help us with that. And then you get to tell us what albums to review. So for those of you who have put into the comments the same album every couple of months for the last 2 years, it is a good, and there's a couple of you.
Just pay that couple
Props
of bucks.
to you. I will totally get to those one day. All of them. They're all on a list. And one day, I promise, my dream is to quit my job and bang out like 3 times the number of reviews a week. But until we can get there, the pace is the pace. So to skip the line, like when you go to La Ronde, which is our amusement parks or a Six Flags, and you pay that pass and you skip the line, that's what the Patreon's like. So you can do that, and then when we're on time with shit, like I have a bunch that literally it's rare, but there's a couple that are unreleased that we're like sitting there for them this weekend. But when we have a bunch of backlog and we actually get ahead, you get to watch it before everyone else does. So when it goes live, we have conversations already there. You get to be special. And yeah, I make music and shit. That's also on the channel. So we're just folk who do stuff. And we'll catch you next week with another Patreon request. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It is Patreon request next week.
Bye, guys.